Pyo Namo Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Maline Mochanam Pumsam Jalasnana Dine Dine Sakrit Gitamrita Snana Samsara Malanashanam. Like we take bath to cleanse our body with the water to purify ourselves. Similarly, one who takes bath in the Ganges of Bhagavad Gita, which has come from the lotus mouth of the Supreme Personality of God in the Song of the God, the words of the Supreme Lord, that person cleanses of all the impurities and does not take repeated birth in this cycle of birth and death. So with that, we are reading chapter 7 of Bhagavad Gita, Jnana Vijnana Yoga, and we have covered till text number 23. We're talking about the last section of this chapter entitled Demigods Krishna. So if you remember, I was sharing this kind of a presentation we built last time, the tabular. What are the difference between the mercy of the Supreme Lord, the destination, who worships, how to worship, what happens with the process of worship, and multiple other things. So let's continue with the next verse, text 24. Vyaktam vyaktimapannam manyate mama buddhaya param bhavam ajananto mamavyayam anuttamam. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. It's a long. Unintelligent men who do not know me perfectly think that I, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, was impersonal before and have now assumed this personality. Due to their small knowledge, they do not know my higher nature, which is imperishable and supreme. Purport. Since it's a long purport, maybe we'll cover it in sections rather than reading all the way through. Those who are worshippers of the demigods have been described as less intelligent persons, and here the impersonalists are similarly described. Lord Krishna, in his personal form, is here speaking before Arjuna, and still, due to ignorance, impersonalists argue that the Supreme Lord ultimately has no form. Those are called impersonalists. Those who say that Lord has no form. They want to, oh, he is, like some light, something undescribable. But Prabhupada is saying that he is personally speaking from his lotus mouth, Bhagavad Gita, coming from the lotus mouth of the Supreme Lord. Yamunacharya, a great devotee of the Lord in the disciplic succession of Ramanujacharya, has written a very appropriate verse in this connection. He says, Tvam Shila Rupa Charita Paramah Prakashita Satvena Satvikatya Prabhalascha Sashtri Prakhyata Deva Pramartha Vidam Matescha Nevasura prakritya prabhavanti bodhum. My dear Lord, devotees like Vyasadeva and Narada know you to be the Supreme Personality of Godhead. By understanding different Vedic literatures, one can come to know your characteristics, your form, and your activities. And one can thus understand that you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But those who are in the modes of passion and ignorance, the demons, the non devotees, cannot understand you. They are unable to understand you. However, expert such non devotees may be in discussing Vedanta and the Upanishads and other Vedic literature. It is not possible for them to understand the personality of God. Stotra Ratna 12. Hmm. So, okay, maybe I'll pause there. The point here is that it is not by mental jugglery or scholarship we can understand God. We can understand God through bhakti. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. Not through mental speculation, not through big books. Books can give information, but one can still keep juggling in their mind. Oh, I think God is that. Oh, that book says this book. We were talking about the little daughter Saraswati. One time there were some, scholars came to Prabhupada for some breakfast or some meeting. Um, and Prabhupada asked them, who is God? And they said, well, you can't just describe God like this. God is something undescribable. God is this. God is, by philosophical understanding, God cannot be described. He is this, he is that. They kept speaking for like 10-15 minutes and like confused, like a kid, right? And the little Saraswati was passing by, and Prabhupada paused her and asked her, who is God? And she replied, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Prabhupada gave her a cookie. She knows more than all of you. Prabhupada said. Simple. Bhakti is simple for simple. We don't need to complicate. And it's not that because we are saying here. We are saying because, as Prabhupada is saying, the great devotees like Vyasadeva, Asita, Devala, Vyasa, Narada, so many great souls are saying this. Yamunacharya, Madhavacharya, Ramanujacharya. Can they all be going wrong? Right? Impossible. Right? Even the demigods themselves, Indra, Chandra, Varuna, right? Brahma, Shiva, everyone is saying that Krishna is to Bhagavan Swayam. But still, the mental jugglers, the impersonalists say, no. That's not God. How can God be a person? So the main emphasis in this verse is that God is a person. He was a person, he is a person, and he always remains a person. The Supreme Personality. It's not that he was impersonalist and for some time he assumes a personality and then again he just merges into that impersonal, like some mahat or some like substance. And we also merge into that impersonal light. That's the impersonalist idea, which is completely rejected here as being less intelligent. If I say, oh, human being, please eat. If I say any one of you, and let's say I call you or like I'm calling you, let's say, oh, human being, can you please come here? Is that correct? It's correct, right? Technically, yeah. Right? Technically, it's correct because you're a human being or a living entity. But is this the right way? Is it the complete way? No. People listen, are you fool? Right? The handsome Ayush is sitting and you're just calling him like living being, right? He has a name, he has father, he's wearing some particular color of clothes, he has a hairstyle. So that's what we address Krishna as Keshava, Nanda Nandana, Yashoda Nandana, not just say, oh God, right? Or even some supreme. No, Prabhupada used the word supreme personality of Godhead. So devotees call Krishna with a personal name like Krishna, Govinda, Madhava, Nanda Nandana, Yashoda Nandana, Gopijana Ranjana, Radha Raman, um, Radha Khan, Radha, so many names connected to devotees, Govardhan Dhari, Giridhari, Vrajraj, so many names, Krishna's unlimited names. We don't say the impersonalist names. So, not through scholarship, but through bhakti. Let's see what happens in the purport further. Anyone wants to read this paragraph?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji Dandat Pranam. Hackney.
Yes,
Hare
please.
Krishna devotees Dandat Pranam. All Krishna Shri Prabhupada. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that the personality of Godhead cannot be understood simply by the study of Vedanta literature. Only by the mercy of the Supreme Lord can the personality of Supreme be known. Therefore, in the verse, it is clearly stated that not only are the worshippers of the demigods less intelligent, but those non-devotees who are engaged in Vedanta and speculation on Vedic literature without any tinge of true Krishna consciousness are also less intelligent. And for them, it is not possible to understand God's personal nature. Persons who are under the impression that the absolute truth is the impersonal are described as abhyudhya, which means those who do not know the ultimate feature of the absolute truth. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that supreme realization begins from the impersonal Brahman and then rises to the localized super soul. But the ultimate word in the absolute truth is the personality of Godhead. Modern impersonalists are less intelligent, for they do not even follow their great precedent Shankaracharya, who has specifically stated that Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Impersonalists, therefore, not knowing the supreme truth, think Krishna to be the son of Devaki and Vasudeva, or the prince, or a powerful living entity. This is also condemned in Bhagavad Gita 9:11. Avajananti mam moda manusham tanamashritam. Only the fools regard me as an ordinary person. The fact is that no one can understand Krishna without rendering devotional service and without developing Krishna consciousness. The Bhagavatam 10:14-29 confirms this. If you want me to summarize from here? Or?
Sure, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandatnam. Prabhuji, wonderful translation. So we can see that how the impersonalists sometimes, even though, like Shankaracharya, clearly mentioned, Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, but some of them got misled and they treat Krishna as one of the, maybe a demigods or one of the, important, persons or elevated person, but they don't know that Krishna is, the cause of all causes, Mm, And also, we can see that how Prabhupada has clearly mentioned that, in the Vedas, in the Bhagavatam, in the, Bhagavad Gita, everywhere it is clearly stated how Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. Uh, that's my understanding, Prabhuji. Please add Hare Krishna. Dandavat.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So this section of the purport is talking about the three features of the Absolute Truth, which we have covered many, many times. But since it's so important, it is certainly worth discussing again. I posted in the group also. This question comes multiple times. The three features of the Absolute Truth realization. Brahmeti, Paramatmeti, Bhagavaniti, Shabdyate. Brahman, Paramatma, and Bhagavan. So the Brahman is the localized, the impersonal feature of the effulgence. The Brahman is the effulgence of the Supreme Lord. The Sat feature is present, eternity. The localized form, Andantarasta Paramanuchayantarastam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Buddhat, is present in every atom, in every living being. Ishvara Sarvabhutana Hriddeshi Arjuna Tishtati Sarvasya Chaham Nidhi Sannivishto. So many verses Krishna says, I am present in heart. But the personal form, yes, this is present everywhere, but this doesn't mean he is like, if I am present in let's say in Tampa, I'm not present in Michigan. If I am present in New York, I'm not present in Delhi. The jiva is limited. But if Krishna is present everywhere, that doesn't mean he's not present in the supreme Goloka Vrindavan. He is, and he always. So that's the Bhagavan, Govindam. He's present in all, there are hundreds of deities across the world. He's present in all those temples. Wherever the devotees are nicely worshipping him. It's not that he's present in Alachua, so how can he be present in the New York temple? Right? So he's present everywhere. In every house, he's present, wherever the devotees are worshipping with him, love and devotion. And that enables one to establish a personal relationship. How can we establish a personal relationship with the impersonal form? Right? Establishing personal relationship in the personal form. Right? So there's no relationship. Like the Dasya, the servant of the impersonal, the servant of Brahma Jyoti. Okay, what service are we rendering? Right? The friend of Brahma Jyoti. Like, what does it mean? Nothing, right? Or the lover of Brahma, or the mother of Brahma Jyoti. No. But Krishna is a person. So devotees call him with the personal names like Govinda, Keshava, Madhava, Yashodanandana. We don't say, I mean, these words are also correct. These are adjectives. So the Bhagavan aspect includes the Paramatma realization and it includes the um, Brahman realization. For example, if I say, oh, the young Ayush. Now, it includes that, yeah, he's a boy. It includes he's a living entity. It includes he's a human being, right? It's obvious. It's like, it's like within that. But if I just say, oh, a living entity is sitting there, that does not really say it's Ayush or whom. It could be an ant, it could be a peacock, it could be a microbe, right? So if I just say, oh, omniscient, someone is thinking, I am omniscient. Someone is thinking, we all were omniscient. Omniscient, omnipotent, omnipowerful, or omnipresent. Oh, I think my dog is very, very powerful. Maybe he's omnipotent. So therefore, Prabhupada did not say International Society for God Consciousness, International Society for Bhagavan Consciousness, International Society for self consciousness or supreme consciousness. No, Krishna consciousness. Very, very clear. Because Krishna's to Bhagavan Swayam. By the name of God, there is a lot of confusion around the globe. Prabhupada wanted to be part of the solution, not create more confusion. So we don't just say, oh, he's supreme light, he's inconceivable, right? So these are some points which we have covered multiple times. You may have seen this chart, but we are looking at it again. So that's the point. Any other thoughts, comments anyone has in this particular section? Okay. We'll go and read the next. Yeah, anyone wants to read from here?
Hare Krishna,
Yes.
Prabhuji, I can read.
Yes, Mataji, please.
The fact is that no one can understand Krishna without rendering devotional service and without developing Krishna consciousness. The Bhagavatam 10.14.29 confirms this. Athapi te deva padam bhujadavya prasadaleshanugrahita evahi janati tatvam bhagavan mahino nachanya ikopi chiram vichinvan. My Lord, if one is favored by even a slight trace of the mercy of your lotus feet, he can understand the greatness of your personality. But those who speculate to understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead are unable to know you, even though they continue to study the Vedas for many years. One cannot understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, or his form, quality, or name simply by mental speculation or by discussing Vedic literature. One must understand him by devotional service. When one is fully engaged in Krishna consciousness, beginning by chanting the Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Then only can one understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Non-devotee impersonalists think that Krishna has a body made of this material nature and that all his activities, his form, and everything are Maya. These impersonalists are known as Mayavadis. They do not know the ultimate truth. Should I read, Prabhu, or just the 28th verse clearly states, Kamayastasthir Rita Janaha Prapadyante Nya Devataha. Those who are blinded by lusty desires surrender unto the different demigods. It is accepted that besides the Supreme Personality of Godhead, there are demigods who have their different planets, and the Lord also has a planet. As stated in the 23rd verse, Devan Devo Yajo Yanti Madbhakta Yanti Mam Api. The worshippers of the demigods go to the different planets of the demigods, and those who are devotees of Lord Krishna go to the Krishna Loka planet. Although this is clearly stated, the foolish impersonalists still maintain that the Lord is formless and that these forms are impositions. From the study of the Gita, does it appear that the demigods and their abodes are impersonal? Clearly, neither the demigods nor Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are impersonal. They are all persons. Lord Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he has his own planet, and the demigods have theirs. I can just explain what I understood here. As Prabhupada explaining that the best service is the devotional service, and it's a top of all the Gyanis, yogis who want to understand Krishna by knowledge, by Vedic shastras, but the devotional service is the best. With Lord's mercy, only devotee can achieve their goal in the bhakti path. So that's what here is explaining. And impersonalists, they do not believe Krishna, as you mentioned, that he's a person. But yes, that's why devotees wants the two-handed forms of Krishna. When Krishna shows that Vishwarupa form to Krishna, Arjuna, Arjuna could not able to take it. Arjuna says, Krishna, I want to see your two-handed forms. Come back to your form. What I can worship you. And the gopis also likes the two-handed form of Krishna. So that's why. And devotional service means joy, the happiness what devotee can get by serving the Lord, serving the devotees. And as also in Bhagavad Gita is mentioned that whoever will worship the demigods, they will go to the demigods, that loka, the respective loka, Shiva loka, Brahma loka, etc. But whoever the devotees will do the devotional service to the Supreme Lord, and then they will go to the Krishna loka, the higher planet. And all of the demigods, Krishna, everyone is a person. None of them are impersonal. That's my understanding, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Very bold. Thank you, Mataji. These beautiful words coming to my mind. Atah Shri Krishna Namadi na bhaved grahit indriyaha sevan mukhe hi jivadus swayam eva sfurtiyadaha. As Prabhupada is mentioning here, beginning by the chanting of the Maha Mantra, the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, then one can understand the Supreme Lord. It's like, don't try to see Krishna. His Holiness Bhakti, is Divine Grace Bhakti, Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Swami Maharaj, the Guru of Srila Prabhupada, says, don't try to see Krishna. Try to serve Krishna. So Krishna wants to see you. If I say, oh, if there is president in this country, come in front of me. Otherwise, there is no president. What will people say me? Crazy, right? Yeah. Fool, right? They'll say, well, are you crazy? Who are you? Why will he come to see you? Are you like a multi, like you're like a CEO of a multi kind of like big corporation or something? Or are you the president of another important country that he'll come and see you? Who are you? What's your qualification, in short? Any Tom, Dick, Harry, any beggar on the street will say, hey, president, come in front of me. And the president will just keep going in front of every Tom, Dick, and Harry. No. But if, let's say, the president of like Canada and calls him that, can we have a meeting to discuss some important subject? Will they meet? Yeah. Probably, yeah. But because he has that qualification. Similarly, rather than trying to challenge God or say, if God is there, come in front of me. We have to develop the bhakti. We have to develop that qualification. So Krishna comes and sees, like Mata Shabri. Guru Matang, the guru of Mata Shabri in Ramayana. We have all heard this story, but since we are talking about this topic, Shabri was from a very low-class tribe, no great qualifications. Externally, birth was low. Everything was against her. But the day of her marriage, she left because she saw goats and all the animals were kept outside to be cut for serving the guests. Oh, I can't become the instrument because for my marriage, these animals will be slaughtered. No, I can't allow that. She just left. And poor lady from low-class tribe. Anyways, people didn't consider high of her, but she took shelter of Matang Rishi. So Matang Rishi told her about the importance of chanting, devotional service, etc. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. And she intensely started to do that. And then the Guru was leaving the body. And then she said, Gurudev, what will I do without, if you leave, then what's my life worth living? It's waste. Then Guru said, no, you don't give up your life. I will see Krishna when I go to spiritual world. or I'll see God when I go to spiritual world, but the Supreme Lord Himself will come to see you in this very lifetime. He will come to you. This is Krishna. This is Lord Ram. So people were accusing her, hey, 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 look at you, fool. God will come to see you. Maybe your guru must be, some empathy, some encouragement. No, 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 don't worry. God will come. You know, some people will chastise her or make fun of her or trouble her and this and that. But she continued. Vyavasayatmika buddhi. She continued her devotion, followed the instructions of the guru. And one day, for sure, Lord Ram did come. Hmm? Now in India, there's a big thing going on. Ram aayenge, right? It's, it's good. I mean, that's good. Like, at least people are taking the name of Lord Ram, whether in a song or good sentiments, good, that's good. That yena ken prakarena, people are remembering Lord Ram, um, and celebrating, and the importance of Lord Ram, Deepavali, the glories of Lord Ram are expanding, which is good. So the point was that we should intensify the bhakti so much so that Krishna will naturally come. And it's actually true for everything. The other day I was sharing that I was asking one time, one devotee told me that you should do this service. I said, Prabhu, I'm very small. How can I do this service? You bless me um, to please. So I am able to do this service. And like kind of frustrated, or like we were standing on the road, so I just like joined hands. And he said a very nice thing. He said, whenever someone gives you a service, if we take it to the heart, their blessings are naturally with it. We don't have to necessarily like prostrate. Of course, in the heart, we must prostrate. We must, offer all the respect. But rest be assured, the blessings are there. The blessings, the other day, someone, like said, oh, touching, because in this culture in India, like touching feet is considered auspicious or holy, or, blessings of guru, etc. All this, that is fine. We are not against that. But touching the feet and not following the instruction is of no good use. So when we want really blessings, when we want really mercy from Vaishnavas, from Guru, etc., we must follow their words. If we are following Prabhupada's words, Krishna's words, their blessing is in an abundant. Their mercy is there. Their mercy is unlimited. We read yesterday. Their unlimited mercy is flowing. The mercy is flowing. We just have to tap into that. And how can we tap into that? By connecting to their instructions. If we sincerely are following their instructions, unlimited mercy is going to flow. Absolutely. So that should be the mood. Bhaktya mam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tatvatah tato mam tatvato gyatva vishate tad anantaram. Bhaktya mam abhijanati. One can know Krishna through bhakti, 1855 Bhagavad Gita. One can understand me as I am, the Supreme Personality of God, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me, by such devotion, he can enter the kingdom of God. That's the idea. That's the mood. That's through bhakti we can know, not through scholarship, not through mental jugglery, not through impersonal speculation, etc., etc. So, any other thoughts, comments anyone has before we read the last paragraph? Okay, maybe Shilpa Mataji can complete this paragraph.
Yes, Prabhuji, thank you so much. Hare Krishna, Dhamma Pranam devotees. Output writing His Divine Grace is Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ki Jai. Therefore, the monistic contention that ultimate truth is formless and that form is imposed does not hold true. It is clearly stated here that it is not imposed. From the Bhagavad Gita, we can clearly understand that the forms of the demigods and the forms of the Supreme Lord are simultaneously existing, and that Lord Krishna is Satchit Ananda, eternal blissful knowledge. The Vedic literature confirms that the Supreme Absolute Truth is knowledge and blissful pleasure. Vijnanam Anandam Brahma. Brahad Arankya Upanishad 3.9.28. And that he is the reservoir of ultimate, unlimited auspicious qualities. Ananda Kalyana Gunatmako Sau. Vishnu Purana 6.5.84. And in the Gita, the Lord says that although he is Aja, unborn, he still appears. These are the facts that we should understand from Bhagavad Gita. We cannot understand how the Supreme Personality of Godhead can be impersonal. The imposition theory of the impersonalist monist is false as far as the statements of the Gita are concerned. It is clear herein that the Supreme Absolute Truth, Lord Krishna, has both form and personality. Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So I think that the last paragraph is a strong conclusion from Prabhupada after giving all the examples on the top from the scriptures and clearly stating on how an impersonalist think, and from the evidence that Prabhupada is providing. Here also, I think Prabhupada is providing one more example from evidence from Vishnu Purana text and Brihad Arankya Upanishad evidence also, verse also. And here specifically mentioning about Satchit Ananda Lord's not sure what is it called, quality or the Satchit Ananda propensity, I think. And in your sheet also you mark that only for Bhagwan we have all the three, Satchit Ananda also included. The other two, which is Paramatma and Brahman, Brahman doesn't have, Brahman has only Sat, and Paramatma has only Sat and Chit, and then Bhagwan has all the three. So if we want the pleasure also, then we have to take the personality form, which is Krishna. And then looking at Krishna itself beautifully, that smile and the Tribanga, Kara and the flute and Radharani beside, that there itself, viewing itself is giving a lot of bliss and all happiness to the senses. So we can clearly see the evidence there itself, and Prabhupada also strongly emphasizing. So, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Back to you, please, correct.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Wonderful. Yeah, so very, very clear. Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam, the Supreme Absolute Truth, has a form and is a person, right? Who reciprocates, who loves, who cares, right? Whom we can relate to as a friend, as a father, as a mother, as a child, as a lover, as a master, any relation, so many relationships. If someone says, well, is your God omnipowerful? Yes. Is your God present everywhere? Yes. Is your God the all energy? Yes. See, because as we discussed the example, it's like the analogy of the sun. The sun god, the sun globe, and the sun rays. In the morning, or we say the sun is up, right? The sun has risen. Do we actually go out? No, we just see the sun rays. The sun rays are present, that means the sun is there. So that's the understanding. The effulgence is present because the effulgent is there. The energy is present because the energetic is there. So energy comes from energetic, effulgence comes from the effulgent. And that energetic, that effulgent is the Supreme Lord Krishna, and the impersonal understanding is his different energies, right? Any other thoughts, comments in this particular text? Very beautiful text. Prabhupada gave a long purport to this one because it's important, right? All these concepts, impersonal, Paramatma, Bhagavan, Brahmajyoti, attributes, Satchidananda, etc. These are all very critical aspects.
Hare Krishna,
Yes,
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. I just want to add, it just popped up. Our His Grace Prangovan Prabhu also mentioned at one additional point, which is just striking. Initially, it's very hard to believe that, yes, Prabhupada is saying with all the evidences in Bhagavad Gita and references, but that feeling, experience, right? Initially, we have to believe what Prabhupada is saying, what is in Bhagavad Gita, with the belief, with the small belief, and then it would unfold. The scriptures, like hardened heart proof cannot be shown directly unless there is small faith to start with. And then nectar of, I think, Ishopanishad, first text one, mantra one, I think, right, Prabhuji? That's where it's Krishna completely. He's the proprietor of everything. And then Prabhupada gives recently, right, that's what Krishna is reminding, comparison between Vedas and the belief. So we follow Vedas, and we follow Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam, which came from Vedas, which is simplified, and Krishna directly talking about it. So why should we follow Vedas, right? Because it's already in there. It's not experimental. Experimental is assumption or this and that, but Veda is already there, and God is one. God directly spoke. Krishna spoke the Vedas to his devotees, his son Brahma, and from Brahma we are getting everything. So that belief to go with, to start with, then Krishna makes it easy, unfolding everything like this is true, this is true. But if we start questioning in the first itself, then it wouldn't be it'll be like a blind follow, basically. So I just wanted to share the thought, provision. Please correct.
Thank you, Mataji. Yes, absolutely. Some faith is required. Faith is required in every aspect of life. Let's see what faith is. It's confidence in someone or something. Confidence in someone or something. Complete trust or confidence in someone or something. So we go to doctors, right? I mean, I was having this surgery recently. So it's like pure faith. Like they give you this needle and then you are unconscious. You're like completely surrendered. What they're doing with your body, right? You don't know, like they say, okay, operation is done. What they did, what part of the body they cut, what part they stitched, what part they operated. I was like having this moment. I mean, of course, later that time I was like, I don't know what, but it's so much like faith, right? And they're not my well-wishers. I mean, they're not my friends or like my, they're there for doing that for money, basically, right? And this is a complete faith. Okay, my body, whatever you want to do, of course, I mean, they should be doing what they're supposed to be doing, but I'm right, I am like, I don't know what, right? It's so much faith. So we are putting faith in everything. Someone goes to a restaurant, what they did behind the scene in the kitchen, who knows? Does anyone see how they cook? If they start seeing, no one will go to the restaurants. That's a fact, actually. Same with everything, right? So, we put faith in everything. But yeah, you are right that we should have some faith that God is a person. We may not, and then if we go with that faith, then Krishna will help us to realize that too. By through unimaginable ways. Through he will reciprocate directly or indirectly. But if we treat him like a statue, or if we treat him like just some inconceivable thing, then it will remain inconceivable, avyakta. Mm. Thank you, Mataji. Any other thoughts?
Yeah, I have one question here.
Yes, Mat. Yes, Prabhu.
So the impersonalists, how do they think that creation, how it came about? Do they have a theory, or is it they believe in the Big Bang? Yeah.
Again, I'm not very specific about that part, but ultimately, it's not the Big Bang. It's like it's again inconceivable. Inconceivably, it was created. But how did it come? But that's what I say. It's inconceivable, right? So he's inconceivable. You can't conceive, but you can become that inconceivable, right? So it's like having faith in nothing. Is that better? Or shall we have faith in some supreme person, the big brain? I mean, it's kind of related to Big Bang only, you can say, because Big Bang also said it like, okay, it started from somewhere, it started, right? But what is that somewhere? That's what we're trying to know. No, don't ask that question. We don't have a good answer. Okay, you don't have a good answer, then accept the answer given by the scriptures, the Bhakti scriptures. Hmm. So I was hearing a class that the impersonalists are as good as atheistic, right? Why? Atheistics say, because there's always Swayam Bhagwan Keshav Maharaj was explaining like 5 types of atheists. There's a recent class which came. One word grossly saying, no God, there's no God, right? In the whole picture. Don't bring God into. Okay. That's like grossly atheist, right? But what do impersonalists, some of that are Mayavadi or Brahmavadis, you can also become God. He's inconceivable, Brahmajyoti, and you can also get there and you become one with God. So what Maharaj, I like this point, how he was explaining. So at the ground level, what the grossly atheists are doing, there's no God. That means I and God are same. No God or I am God. And they're equating themselves to God at the ground level. But the impersonalists or the Mayavadis, what they say, okay, right now I'm not God, but he's there, I'll also get there, and we both become God. So they are equating to the God at this level. The grossly atheists are equating to God at this level, but the both are doing the same thing, to take God out of picture and become God themselves. But the bhakti, the God always remains God, and devotee always remains a devotee. What's that? Jivera Swarup hoy Krishna Nitya Das. That Nitya Das stays Nitya Das. It's not that Nitya Das becomes Nitya Prabhu or right. It becomes always eternal servant. Whether we are here in the ground level or we get to the spiritual world, we still remain Das. Or heavenly planets or lower planets, Das remains Das. That's the bhakti understanding. So does that help, Prabhu?
Yes, thank you very much. So I guess what the impersonalists are thinking is really inconceivable in a way. Thank you.
Yeah, that's the whole Big Bang theory. Don't ask from where did that mass came. Don't ask that question. Don't ask who started the fire in that mass, right? But somehow the mass was there where all the ingredients was there. How they come, don't ask that question because it's inconceivable. And who started that fire, right? That bomb, the big bang, don't ask that too, but somehow it started. And then everything wonderfully was started. That's very conceivable. So,
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, then Prabhuji, I
yes,
have also heard about someone saying everything comes from Shunya and everything goes into Shunya. So that was also one of the. I mean, I know very multiple theories are there. Sure. Yeah. And I was asking what is Shunya, but they were not able to, articulate what is Shunya.
yes. And that's why Prabhupada's Pranati, we say, what do we say? Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschat Udeshatari. This Shunya is like nothing. Shunya means nothing, right? I have $0. That means I'm a beggar. Shunya means zero. Nothing, right? The Shunya here means nothing. Hmm? So those who's like God is nothing, right? Or God, everything comes from nothing. So as Subal Prabhu mentioned this one, this is Mayavadi again, different variants of these of godlessness. Prabhupada eradicated that. And that too in the foreign land. Thank you. Anything else anyone wants to bring up?
Prabhuji, we were talking earlier about comparison between that pendulum, right? Like Buddha came and then Shankaracharya came and then Madhvacharya. So Buddha said, forget about Vedas completely and then it's all empty, focus only on your brain and peace and so forth, right? So maybe from there it came, the impersonalist, and at that point of time that was correct, right? To because Buddha also is Krishna's avatar, right? So not completely clear, but at least the followers of Buddha, disciples, successors, and so forth, right? Their path and so forth. So at that point of time, it might be strong, but complete answer, nobody really asked about what's the clear picture. I don't know. I'm just thinking maybe it could be one of the reasons. Kind of.
What question? I mean, I'm missing some.
So the gas and the Big Bang and so forth, right? That is technical or scientist perspective, but from a devotee perspective, different kinds of impersonalist perspective. If we go back in generation, Buddha also came. Mahavir Buddha also came in. Is also avatar of Krishna, right? Lord himself, super personality of God. And then at that point of time, in the form of Buddha, Lord said, forget about Vedas because we're all fightings and so forth, right? At that point of time. Forget about Vedas and just follow calm your brain. Meditation and so forth came from there, right, Prabhuji? Or maybe in the past also they are there, but yeah, so they are disciple successors who follow Buddha, still continue, and they still try to preach what Buddha said, right? They have to change now because at this point of time it's Mahaprabhu showing the evidence also, and Prabhupada also explaining about Krishna and person, as a form and so forth. So now they have to change too. But now that we are talking on where did it originate or where did it start, maybe it came from Buddha and their disciple successions and so forth. That's what I'm thinking.
I know. You are right in most aspect. Let's go back a little bit more. Before Buddha came, about 3,000 years back, people were misutilizing Vedas at the beginning of Kali Yuga, you can say, or about 3,000, 4,000. Many of the people were misutilizing scriptures. In the name of scriptures, killing innocent animals for tongue. Even nowadays it's happening, right? Right. So for their belly, they were killing. And then Buddha came and he said, stop all this. Vedas are nonsense. This is all bogus. And just like give up all this. Focus on insight, right? Develop self insight, like calm, shanti, 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 right? So give up all these. So he basically rejected all these scriptures because they were actually misutilizing, right? Like the knife in the hand of a killer can cause great havoc. The knife in the hand of a surgeon can cause good if the surgeon is good. But the knife in the hand of a killer can cause a havoc. The same knife, the knife is the same. So the Vedas, people can draw false conclusions and false meanings and basically torture others So Buddha came to kind of put that at least if you can't do good, at least don't do bad. That was like to bring from the negative number line to at least zero, shunya, right? Don't do bad, at least, if you can't do good. If you can't understand bhakti out of them, because most of the scriptures are karma kand only, right? 99% of the scriptures are also karma kand. That goes in the Bhagavatam, why Vyasadeva was not happy. That was like 5,000 years back. So many Puranas, Upanishads, are there. Majority of it is karma kand. But if your people are misutilizing that, he said, okay, stop all this. Then about 1200 years or so, Shankaracharya and all, like actually 1500, I don't know the exact time frame, about 1500 years back, Shankaracharya, who is the hidden incarnation of Lord Shiva. So he said, Mayavada Chanda Shastra. In one of the pranam mantras of Lord Shiva, it's that I will come as a a sadhu, and who will preach the Mayavada Chanda Shastra. Disguised Mayavad, I'll preach. So he's preaching Mayavad. But now Vedas do talk about the energy. So now you must be surprised. Buddha was born in India, Bodh Gaya, but there is less presence of when Shamanand Prabhu came actually at the house of, I think, Karthik Prabhu. He gave this, someone asked this whole question. He gave a 1 hour class on this, on this topic. I don't remember everything, but whatever little I remember, I'm just trying to share. So then he came. You might be surprised, and why are there's less Buddhism in India? But it is more in like Korea, China, and other such places. Because these Naga Babas or these followers of Shankaracharya, etc., they uprooted, safaya kar diya sab. They defeated their understanding, because now it's Krishna's arrangement to gradually establish the pure dharma. But as Mataji said, like you're talking about the pendulum, you can't go from one extreme to other extreme. You have to pass through the phases. So that phase was the Mayavad Chanda Shastra he gave. That the Vedas are there, but impersonal understanding. God is inconceivable, but the scriptures are studied. So they re-established the scriptures. Don't do wrong, but gradually start doing right. But then came the personal acharyas like Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Yamunacharya, etc., etc., in different parts of the country, right? Who established the personal, and of course Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, who re-established the personal understanding. There's a beautiful drama on the life of Madhvacharya on ISKCON Desire Tree, on ISKCON Chupadi channel. You can see that how he like so many debates and all, he went and kind of cleared all these so-called followers of impersonalist understanding. This Big Bang thing is very, very recent, right? This Big Bang thing is very recent. That's a modern scientist understanding. I don't know if they still teach in the school. Many schools kind of ignored them. He said that doesn't make any sense. But it may be still in some schools. Is in their school, the Big Bang Theory? They teach. What do they teach?
I haven't learned it yet, but I want to learn it next year.
In physics they teach. Still they are teaching. That's what Ayush Prabhu said. Okay. I think it was 9:15. I didn't realize it. 9:15. So we'll pause. भगवद गीता उपनिषद की जय, ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम पुराण की जय, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमः। Thank you. Hare Krishna. Jai Shri Prabhupada.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.